I'm Mel Lucier. I'm stepping in for Bobby Vitella. He's running a little bit late. So welcome to the 2019 Windsor-Essex Pride Fest flag raising ceremony.
Woo!
You know what, as usual in our community, we're running a little bit late, so we're just going to get this up and started. We're going to bring up our first speaker today. Everybody, Adam Berga.
Woo!
Please rise for the singing of our national anthem. Our home and native land, true patriot love, in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free, glorious and free. Oh, Canada, guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Woo!
Thank you, Adam. We're now going to have an opening of the ceremony by Teresa Sims.
These are words that come before all others. When two or more people meet, we send our greetings, our thanksgiving, and our love to the Creator. We also introduce ourselves, our spirit or Indian name. Mine is Kajiajistohawi. She comes from the stars. I'm Upper Mohawk Turtle Clan, one of the people of Longhouse. I try to follow a natural way of life. So I'd like to send our greetings, thanksgiving, and love to all that are here, that our hearts and minds together as one, a good heart and a good mind. An open heart and open mind, that we work together as one heart and one mind, that role and responsibility we've taken today. And as we look out, we have to remember those who are in the hospital, those incarcerated, those who are missing and lost, that hopefully they'll join us in the future, so we put our hearts and minds together as one. And as we look out at creation, we're being blessed with that water of life. And as all creation can survive without us, we can't survive without creation. So we have to learn to take care of our Mother Earth and be gentle when we walk on all the soils. And remember, what we use, we have to replace for the next 7 generations. So I'd like to sing a song from the Mi'kmaq Nation. And it talks about the eagle. The eagle flies highest. He's closest to Creator. See that there's friends coming. So it's time to prepare.
Go!
Patterson.
Woo!
Hi, my name is Tracy Patterson, and on behalf of the Ottawa Street BIA, I would like to welcome Pride Fest to their second year on Ottawa Street. Last year, I had the privilege to speak at the LGBTQ2 flag raising. I spoke a lot about love. This year, I would like to touch on a moment in my life that taught me love. In the summer of 1983, a couple of years ago, my father asked me after dinner to have a talk with him, and he wanted to talk privately. I must be in trouble, big trouble, I thought. The next thing I knew, we were sitting side by side, and he turned to me and he said that he had noticed I wasn't dating anyone. He also mentioned that when he was my age, he was dating someone. Oh man, I thought he's going to ask me why I am not dating. And there was the question, why was I not dating? I replied that no one asked me out, Dad, and mumbled something about being fat. His response was, well, first of all, you're not fat, and secondly, I want you to know that when you decide to date someone, or someone asks you out and you say yes, I just want you to know it doesn't matter to me who you choose. I will always love you the same way. Those words, that knowledge and understanding made me secure at a very insecure time. As I was armed with those words, I started high school the very next month. Those words made it easier for me to make friends, make my own choices. They reinforced that our home was a welcoming and safe place for all. When I was growing up, many of my friends' homes at that time were not. But our doors were always open, and sometimes friends spent months there. It was always home. I was never sure where his forward thinking came from, and I found out many years later that my dad had the exact conversation with my brother. Just a few years ago, we had the courage to ask him why. His response was, I was talking to a drag queen the day before, and she said if I wanted to be a good parent, that I needed to have that conversation. Well, Dad, that conversation changed my life and the lives of many of my friends over those years. My dad recently turned 75, and I am forever thankful to him and that mysterious drag queen for teaching that acceptance and that love. It really is an amazing gift, a gift that I believe is somehow needed more now than ever. The ability to love and let love, and the world is better for it. On behalf of the Ottawa Street BIA, I would like to welcome Pride. Thank you for choosing Ottawa Street. Our businesses are excited and our windows are decorated. We love having you, and we cannot wait to celebrate love with you. Thank you.
You know what, and we love to be on Ottawa Street as well, and hopefully everybody will go and spend some money at the festival and at the businesses that support us as well. As a side note, I've been involved in the community here in Windsor for about 10-15 years. A majority of my family are Windsor police officers. I just personally want to acknowledge their presence here today. Thank you for your rainbow attire. And thank you in standing in solidarity with us today.
Yes.
Our next speaker we're going to bring up, Director of Communications, Tourism Windsor-Essex, Pelee Island, Jason Toner.
Thank you. On behalf of Tourism Windsor-Essex, Pelee Island, I'd like to welcome the thousands of out-of-town visitors as well as locals that will be joining us on Ottawa Street this week. I'm represented here with our CEO, Gordon Orr, as well as Lionel Kurtman from our office. And we'd also like to thank Windsor-Essex Pride Fest for the continued partnership and growth of marketing to the LGBTQ plus community and representing Windsor-Essex across the province and into Michigan. We help them market, but we also help with education with stakeholders and welcoming the LGBTQ plus community to the region. So we've done stakeholder education in the past, and we continue to grow that in the future. When my husband and I travel, we do look for safe and inclusive communities across the country, across North America that we travel to, and we hope that when people come this weekend, they see that as well. We also want to thank Pride Fest for not only this week's events, but what they do all year long. They're taking groups out into the county and exploring our wineries, doing bike rides, community meetups at different locations across the city, and that helps people learn about what there is to do in the region and what more people can experience when they come down for a road trip or for an overnight stay. Again, thank you, and we hope for a great week of weather and fun events.
Thank you so much. I love to explore Windsor-Essex County, especially the wineries. So, our next speaker, Regional Vice President for Windsor-Kent County RBC, Jeff Osgarby.
I'm very proud to be here representing RBC at this Windsor-Essex Pride Flag raising. At RBC, we believe in the values of diversity and inclusion. It makes our community stronger and our company a better place to work. This year, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Stonewall, a watershed moment in the LGBTQ2S movement. Fast forward to today, there's been so much positive change, but it's also true there is so much work to be done, which means celebrating Pride is more important than ever. Pride is an outward expression of diversity. It allows others an opportunity to grow in understanding and challenge conscious and unconscious bias. Yet it also encourages and welcomes all, empowering each of us to stand up for one another. For love is love, and each of us deserve the right to share our lives with whom we choose. We believe this event is important. This is why we are here today, why RBC has taken part in Pride across the country, and why we will be part of the Pride Parade on Sunday morning. And we look so forward to it. Thank you to the Windsor-Essex Pride Organizing Committee for their awesome partnership, and to the many volunteers and supporters that make a day like this possible. Happy Pride, Windsor-Essex.
Thank you so much. Our next speaker, Vice President Marketing, Caesars Windsor, Mary Riley.
Thank you. Caesars Windsor is a strong supporter of diversity, inclusion, and the LGBTQ2S community. We're proud to be a part of this symbolic celebration. We have diverse employees and guests, and we foster a welcoming environment where everyone can have fun and be themselves. Providing resources to strengthen our community where we live, work, and play is a core value of the Caesars Windsor Cares program. We're delighted to partner with Windsor-Essex Pride Fest, where we're supporting and celebrating equality and acceptance. Caesars will continue to serve and empower our LGBTQ2S team members and guests, and we're pleased to be here today in support of this annual tradition. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Our next speaker, MP Windsor West, my neighbor, my friend, Brian Massey.
Happy Pride, everyone. I'm joined with Tracy Ramsey, Cheryl Hardcastle, Percy Hatfield, Lisa Gretzky, and Taras Nadashak sends his regrets today. I know that a number of people have heard the story before in terms of how I got active in this society and how I got active in this issue is that I was taken aside at my workplace and told not to be a friend with someone because he was gay. Wow. And it was one of the best decisions in my life because the person is still a friend. And I ended up playing in the Cabbagetown Softball League with him in Toronto, and have still carried on some of the learning lessons that I've had and the experience from this day. But I want to share something, though, that happened over the past year that I think it's important, a message that we have to continue to move forward. And tolerance is just not enough. I had a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, at an employer in Windsor, be asked to go through conversion to keep their job. Yeah. That happened in our community, in our city, and I thought about the issue of conversion, not only inappropriate at the work, by all means inappropriate anywhere, and I thought about that issue. And I thought, what we do need is conversion from hate, bigotry, and prejudice to love. So I say to you, to Pride, I mean, this is amazing. I remember when it seemed like it was a protest with 2 cars and wandering down the street, seeing what was going to happen and where we were going, to this incredible celebration. The sponsors, how much we appreciate and we take pride to have a city so loving to come forward and make sure this is a beautiful event for all of our families. From the picnics that we used to have in Optimist Park to now Ottawa Street that has been so welcoming. Thank you very much. Happy Pride.
Thank you, Brian, for being a constant friend and support of our community. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is one of my heroes. I swear there are some left on the earth. He's the anchor in this community. Everybody, Mr. David Lenz.
Hello everyone, and then thank you so much for coming today. We are delighted to see all of you here. This is the 27th year in our area has seen a Pride activity. I say activity because what was once something meant solely to express protest is now something that expresses many things, such as celebration, advocacy, liberation, and several others. Today, how any individual perceives Pride and what it means to them is as unique as they are. It is also something that is deeply held on a personal level. Regardless of the evolution of Pride or what it means for any of us, we are now approaching 3 decades of visibility and advocating for a more just and inclusive society. That's a long time, but I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that this year marks the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots. I won't drown you in a history lesson, other than to say that, simply put, New York City's Stonewall was one of a handful of establishments where LGBT people could gather at a time when homosexuality was despised by society and a crime under the law. Oppression was the norm, but after one particular violent police raid, our community said enough is enough, and for this first time, it fought back. How times have changed. By that I'm talking about both equality under the law and social acceptance. Not for all of us, mind you, and I'll get to that in a moment. But for many, the advancements are significant, especially when one considers the relatively short period of time these changes have taken place. Overall, our society is a much more inclusive and welcoming place. This is nothing less than amazing, since these gains depend entirely on the changing of minds and attitudes of the millions of people who constitute the society we live in. Hatred and discrimination of entire groups of people are always rooted in ignorance. These things vanish when people see the humanity in others. People who are denied the same human dignity as everyone else are denied the right and ability to live freely and contribute to society to fulfill their potential. Thus, as a society that chooses to discriminate against a segment of itself is like cutting off a piece of itself and can result only in reducing its strength and potential. Whereas one that embraces all of its citizens can only gain from the additional contribution. Want proof? Look around you. We have government, business, and the public, which spans all the variants of gender, identity, and preference here with us today. By virtue of their mere presence and ours, we publicly stand together shoulder to shoulder as allies, friends, family, and loved ones. This is the concept of inclusion in tangible form, and proof that anger and hate will never prevail. Personally speaking, I'd much rather be liked or loved than simply tolerated. And since I mentioned government, I am delighted to be able to announce today that the Government of Canada has deemed us deserving to be awarded the Heritage Canada Grant and sign on as a presenting sponsor of this year's Pride Fest. This grant invests directly into the festival and will allow us to create something truly spectacular for our community. As wonderful as all that is, however, there are those who are still denied the basic human acceptance, just as there are those who continue to enact their ignorance through discrimination. The suffering felt by the transgender people around the world, for example, can be described as nothing less than horrifying. While Canada, and indeed Windsor-Essex, have not witnessed the gruesome brutality commonly commonly found in places like Brazil, Mexico, and more recently in the United States. There nonetheless remains a barrier to inclusion, sadly, even from our own community. That is why we continue to raise the flag and why we hold this festival. We do it to celebrate our advancements, our struggles, and most of all, what is possible. In the spirit of that, I ask each and every one of you to consciously do your part and help achieve that goal. It needn't be something grand. It needn't be something grand act or need to be something time and effort or time. You'd be amazed at how far a warm smile or a kind, simple gesture will go. Human relationships are built on commonality, not debate. And lending a hand or even an ear can do wonders. In our view, pride starts within. And giving someone that warm glow inside, or in this case of those who still discriminate, take away that gnawing anger. It is the path we need to continue following to reach inclusion for all. So to conclude, I'd like to thank again all of you for coming. I'd also like to thank each and every one of our sponsors. Festivals are extremely expensive, and without you, we wouldn't be able to provide what we provide, especially trying to provide a majority of the events for free to the community. As well, I'd like to thank in advance our amazing volunteers, since without them, we physically couldn't produce our festival or events. Most of all, I'd like to thank everyone who comes to any of our events, including our year-round programs. It shows you believe in us and you share in our philosophy, which to us is everything.
Our next speaker representing the City of Windsor, City Councillor Fred Francis.
Thank you. It's certainly great to be here. How about another round of applause for David and the team? Well said, David. Very well said. And to all the speakers, very well said. There's very little that I can add outside of just thanking, obviously, the Government of Canada for the sponsorship. The sponsors behind me, behind my left shoulder here, you can see them. These are all people that are supporting the cause. I see members from our Windsor Police Service, the chief, the acting chief. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping us say that Windsor's safer, Windsor's more inclusive, and Windsor's welcoming for all people, for everyone. That's our mission, that's our goal. And David said it absolutely right when he said it a moment ago. Take a moment, look around, look who's here. You got members from Parliament, Provincial Parliament. I'm here with my colleagues from Windsor City Council. Councillor Morrison, Councillor McKenzie's here. We're all in this together. This is our community, but this is our Windsor. And we all, as a collective voice, have to say, this is what we want our city to be. This is what we want our community to be welcoming, to be inclusive, and to be safe for all people, for all people. So what you do here today is not just for today, and it's not just for Pride Week, but it goes on for every single day for the rest of the year and even beyond that. What we do to help promote inclusiveness, welcoming, safety for all people, and basic human dignity, as was said before. That's our job and that's our responsibility. Not just today, not just during the week, but for the rest of the year and really for the rest of our lives. So I'm just happy to be a part of it. I know City Council is happy to be a part of it. We'll certainly do our part, but we're asking you to do your part too. Anytime you see ugliness, anytime you see bigotry or discrimination, don't be afraid to speak up, because we're right there with you, and so is everyone else here. We're right there with you. Thank you again, and happy Pride, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Francis. We will now raise the flag. So this is notice, everybody, to get your tissues out. This is super emotional for me, and I don't know why after 15 years, I still well up when I see the flag flying free. And as they're doing that, we're going to read out some of the sponsors. This is a reminder to thank our community partners to support the businesses that support us. Diamond level sponsors, Caesars, Windsor Cares, Green Shield of Canada, Uptown Ottawa, 93.9 FM, AM 800, and CTV. Titanium level sponsors, RBC, Hiram Walker and Sons. Gold level sponsors, Tourism Windsor-Essex, Home Depot. Silver level sponsors, All Risks Insurance, Concours Mold, CUPE Local 543, Ground Effects, Lavender Promotions, OSSTF District 9, TD Canada, Unifor Local 444, Unifor Local 200, Unifor Local 2458, bronze level sponsors, 3D Parts, CJAM, Mahoney Law, Elite Roofing, JP Thompson Architects, McDonald's Canada, Monarch Basics, Rico International, Reliance Home Comfort, Remax Preferred Realty, Sturgeon Woods, Windsor District Labor Council, Windsor Sportsman Club, Windsor Family Credit Union. These are the sponsors that made the festival possible this year. As well, you can find a copy of the 2018-2019 Pride Guide at vendors. I believe it's at Caesars in the tourism office. You can find a copy of that. And anytime I go to a business that advertises in that guide, I let them know that's why I'm there. I'm there to support them because they support my community. Some of the upcoming events we hope to see you all at. Thursday, August 8th, Gender and Sexual Diversity Workshop, St. Clair Center for the Arts at 1 p.m. Thursday, August 8th, Family Bowling, Rose Bowl Lane, 7 p.m. That event is free and that's of all ages. Thursday, August 8th, Bowling Afterglow, Windsor Sportsman Club at 9 p.m. a dance party. Friday, August 9th, Unplugged at Lansbury Park, 5 p.m. to midnight. Friday, August 9th, Loud and Proud Party at Rockstar Music Hall, and I will be a co-host of that event. Saturday, August 10th, Pride Saturday Marketplace at Lansbury Park from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's all ages as well. Saturday, August 10th, Windsor Pride at Lansbury Park at 8 p.m. Saturday, August 10th, Glitter Ball at Rockstar Music Hall at 10:30. I will be hosting that as well. That is a 19 and over event. Sunday, August 11th, the Pride Parade on Ottawa Street. That starts at Walker in Ottawa at 11 p.m. So you can line up anywhere along Ottawa Street to watch that. AM. I don't think anybody would have showed up at PM anyway. 11 a.m. Get there, get early, get a good seat. And then Sunday, August 11th, Pride Day and Marketplace at Lansbury Park from noon until we're done, 7 p.m. Everybody, the flag.